Hi and welcome back with another video tutorial. In this video we will be looking at array meshes and how we can duplicate an instance of a mesh and apply different transformations on it as well. In our previous video we looked at nanomeshes and nanomeshes was used to create patterns and alphas, and array meshes is kind of the same, but it's not for making alphas, it's just for duplicating meshes. So in order to create array mesh, you can just go to in your tool menu, you can just click on this array meshes and click on this button to turn on an array mesh. So right now you can see that nothing is happening because we haven't tweaked any value. So if I change this amount, you can see there is an instance popping through it. So let's increase this distance, and let's increase the number of repeats, and you can see that we can clearly have our multiple meshes. So what we can do is right now this mesh has subdivision level, so you can see that I can go back and forth on my subdivision level. I can also sculpt on it, which is really handy while working on array meshes. So it is super important and super useful for duplicating multiple meshes. So there is one more thing that we can do is using transpose line to create easily manipulate it. So let's turn off the array mesh, and let's turn it back on again, and let's reset it. Okay, yeah, let's reset it, and you can see that right now I am selecting my Gizmo 3D, and if I want to change it to something else, and if I want to change it to my transpose line, what I can do is click on this button Gizmo 3D, and you can see that we have our transpose line here. So if I draw an instance of my transpose line and click on this transpose button here, you can see that there is some text appearing here, which is the number of stages and the number of repeat values. So what I can do is press W on my keyboard and click on this middle circle, and while pressing shift I am adding some offset here, you can see that. And if I increase the number of repeats from here, you can see that I'm generating the same pattern again, and we have this long tail of this mesh. So what I can do right now is move my gizmo, and I can press just the R key for the rotation, and I can just twist it around like this. So you can see that it is very easy to use, and I can create a very complex shape or the tails of some creature like this. So I can just change my axis like this by clicking and dragging on this circle, and I can rotate in this axis as well. Let me show you from here. So I can rotate it from this pivot here, and you can see that all of the meshes are twisting around that pivot. So let's increase the number of repeats from here. Let's go to our offset section and give it a Y offset like this. So you can see that how easily we have created our this chain of this sweeping curve of this scale. So array meshes are super easy and super useful to create duplicating meshes, and we can always just go around and sculpt it up if we want. This was our first mesh, and you can see that all of my meshes are being affected right now, and you can see that it's whatever I'm sculpting is duplicating on all of the instance, and which is very handy. So let's do something else. Let's reset it out, and let's give it a Z offset on this axis, and let's increase the repeat. And what I want to do right now is create another stage right now, and we can do that by just clicking on this append new button here, and you can see that we have 2 stages right now. And if I want to give it some offset, which I can do this right now, so you can see that the upper level stage will always be duplicating the lower level stage. So I'm giving this an offset, and I want to increase the repeat like this. And you can see that how easily I have generated a grid or pattern which is the same as the nanomesh, but it's somehow different. Let's reduce the number of amount because it is slowing down my viewport. Let's go to stage 1 and reduce the number of repeats here as well. Let's reduce the offset to make it look a bit closer, because we will be adding another stage right now. So you can see that right now we have 2 stages, and if I click on append new, and we will be able to add one more stage that will be replicating this whole thing. So what I can do is give it an offset in Y channel, and increase the number of repeats, and you can see that we have created this really complex shape that is instanced. For example, I can still sculpt on this mesh, and you can see that it's kind of slow, but you can see that we are very easily able to create different shapes. So let's go back a few stages back. So if we want to apply some variation on it, which I am not doing right now. So if I want to so there is one more thing that I would like to show you. So if I click on this rotate slider and give it a Y amount, so this is applying on stage 2. Let's go to our stage 1 and give it a Y rotation. And you can see that it's the rotation follows from start to end. For example, let me delete the upper stage so that we can see it more clearly. So you can see that the rotation is followed on the basis of this curve here. Yes, so let's just delete this one here. Yeah. So you can see that the rotation amount, like it's very low here, and the rotation amount keeps on increasing as we reach the tip. This is because of let me increase the number of pattern, and let me increase the offset as well, so that we are clearly able to see this. Yeah. So the rotation is following this curve. For example, you can see that this is the Y profile, and if I increase, if I change this curve, you can see that my meshes or my instance are rotated on the basis of this curve, and you can see that now it's totally flat right now, and right now the rotation amount is maximum. You can see that it's these meshes are totally flipped backward because of this curve here. So we can always arrange how the meshes is rotated on the basis of this curve. And for example, if I want the rotation to very slowly follow, and we have max rotation here, so what I can do is just push it in, and you can see that these meshes are almost facing the same way, and the rotation starts to increase while reaching the tip. So the curves are really important and really easy to use when working on array meshes. So let's go back a couple of steps, and I wanted to show you how we can add some variation onto our meshes. So let's create a new stage, and let's add a X offset. Sorry, we are in rotate mode. Let's click on this, and let's duplicate these meshes, and let's increase the number of repeats as well. So you can see that right now all of these are totally flat. We don't have enough variation going on. So what we can do is we can just convert it to nanomesh. Okay, so it's saying that the mesh is composed of multiple subduing levels. So we can just delete the subdivision levels and click on this convert to nanomesh. And if I go to my nanomesh tab right now, you can see that it's nanomesh right now. And you can see that there is a polygon plane that's added onto each instance. So what I can do right now is just create variation. For example, I can add an X offset variation. Let's not add that much amount. We can also do is that add a X rotation variation like this. And we can also add a Y rotation variation. And we can also do a Z rotation as well. So you can see that we can just create multiple instances of our meshes using the Arraymesh, and then we can add variations using our nanomesh that we covered in the last video. So hope you like the video, and see you in the next video.